You're fine. Yep.
All right, and we're going to be streaming this live, just so everyone is aware.
All right, everybody ready?
Good.
I'm sorry?
Just a second.
Okay. All right, ready? All right, my name is Sergeant Bill Lowe, Billlowe. I'm one of the public information officers here at Troop A headquarters. The reason why we're here is we did have a shooting incident that occurred at Troop A headquarters at about 9:40. Our communications personnel observed a vehicle pull into the parking lot, park on the west side of Troop A. At that time, there was a trooper on the outside of the premises near his vehicle. He saw the driver exit his vehicle. He exited with a long rifle. At that point in time, the trooper gave several commands to the suspect. He radioed in to let Troop A personnel know what was taking place, and then two other troopers responded that were either in the building or in the area, and subsequently there was shots fired, and right now we have one suspect that was transported to the hospital. Our troopers were not injured. We do have two troopers that were the ones that fired their weapons, their duty weapons. At this time, that's really all we know. Right now we're looking at his vehicle, making sure there's nothing wrong with the vehicle as far as any kind of bomb or anything. At least Summit Police Department's bomb squad is here. They've been a tremendous help with this incident. So with that, I'll answer what questions I can. Right now we have very limited information, but I'll try and answer them.
Were the troopers preparing to like head out for a shift or something, or when they noticed the person, were they kind of caught off guard, if you will? I mean, were they, getting ready for a shift, if you will?
Well, they were on duty. One trooper was here getting another vehicle, switching out a vehicle. Troop A headquarters is also a what we call a zone office for our troopers to do paperwork that work here in Jackson County. So there were troopers that were here doing some paperwork at that point in time, and it's my impression that those were the two that came out of the building.
So, just to make sure I understand the timeline correctly, there's a trooper here outside the building, sees this man essentially pull up and get out carrying a rifle, and is alarmed, gives commands for him to drop the rifle, but then doesn't immediately shoot. He then radios in for assistance before.
At this point, that's what I know. We don't know what, in that interim time, what took place, where they were in relation to the general office area. But suffice it to say, he was out here, and he wasn't here just to out of any concern other than he wanted to do some harm. And there was nothing that the troopers could have done differently. They did what they had to do in order to make sure that they were safe, and as well as everybody else in the building, because we do have civilians in the building that are working there. And we're just thankful that he didn't get to the front of the building and do more damage.
So you do believe he was targeting
in that building?
I'm sorry?
So you do believe that he was out here targeting you and was going to do something?
Well, I guess you could assume that because he came out with the weapon on our premises, knowing that we are the Highway Patrol. So I'm assuming that he had an issue with either us or law enforcement in general. We don't know. We can't speculate on that. We haven't had a chance to talk to him and interview him.
How many people are working inside that building at any given time, and then also tonight?
At any given time, there's between 30 and 40 people. Now, in the evening like this, there's probably, if you're talking about radio personnel as well as the troopers that are in there, maybe doing paperwork, like I said, there may be 6 at the most, probably at one point in time in the evening. But like I said, if our troopers are not here, they're out patrolling. So, you know, I'm grateful that they were here, because it could have been a lot worse, because we do have unarmed personnel in the building, and you know, this individual was here to do some harm, and we're glad that none of our personnel were injured.
Sergeant, would you classify this as an ambush on one of your troopers tonight?
I don't know if it's an I wouldn't call it an ambush, because he came in if he would have entered the building, if he would have been a part of that, then I would say yes. I mean, he's coming in to do some harm, obviously, but he was surprised that there was a trooper outside that observed him. So, you know, we are thankful that trooper was out there. Like I said, otherwise it could have been a lot worse, and it could have been an ambush. I mean, it's one of those things where you're not expecting it. You're not expecting something to happen at your headquarters, at your building. But you know, we're always got to be on alert and make sure we're aware of our surroundings.
And saying that you're not expecting this isn't an encounter that the State Highway Patrol gets very often, is it?
Something like this? No. In my 25 years, I've never had somebody come to our troop headquarters and try and do some harm.
Any other troops as well, right?
For the best of my knowledge, I haven't heard of it happen.
And were you able to find identification on the person? Is he familiar to law enforcement? Is there a background, a history there?
We have identified it. We have an identification for him. I don't know how old he is. He is a male. I don't recognize the name. You know, we stop so many cars and interact with so many people. We do have those people that, you know, we are readily aware of who they are, but I can't say right now that this is one of those individuals.
The long rifle that he had, what type of rifle? Are we talking AK-47 or AR?
It was an assault type rifle. I'm not sure what style right now, but it was an assault style.
Did it look like it had been modified to do maximum damage?
That I don't know. I mean, anytime you have an assault rifle that's capable of carrying lots of ammunition, it's going to do a lot of damage.
Do you believe did he fire it?
We're still looking into that. If he did or not, we're not sure. I should say I'm not sure. I haven't been told that. But you know, this is way early in this investigation, and we're going to take our time and look at the cameras that we have outside the troop headquarters, as well as talk with our troopers.
Your job can be dangerous, you know that, but for someone to come here and specifically possibly target you, just can you react to kind of the state of affairs as a whole?
Well, I'd say it's disturbing, to say the very least. You don't expect that at your troop headquarters, like I said earlier. This is a place where you're coming to work and coming to finish up on some work and some paperwork, but like I said, you have to be aware and readily available and readily noticeable about your surroundings, and making sure that you know, you're putting yourself in the best position possible to be safe. And you know, we got to find a different way to air our disagreements, and you know, this is not the way to do it, and it's you know, an unfortunate circumstance that our personnel were put in that position. You know, he's the one who brought this attention upon himself, and it's unfortunate that our troopers were put in that position.
Sergeant, when he was transported from the scene here, was he alert and conscious, perhaps in a position to speak with your investigators at the hospital, or is he suffering grave wounds?
That I'm not sure. I'm not. I haven't been briefed entirely on his condition at this point, but I do know he was transported to a local hospital.
Given that the troopers responded relatively, I guess, quickly and professionally, does something like this prompt, I guess, any procedural policy, just second looks or anything for things at the troop headquarters?
Well, I mean, sure, you're obviously going to try and learn from any incident that you're involved in something like this. You know, how can we better protect our people, and how can we better protect the public? So I'm sure that we'll look at all avenues to make sure that we're doing the best things for our people and keeping them safe in the troop headquarters.
So is this like with some police departments, when you go to the door, it's locked and you have to buzz. Sometimes it's open and there's like a breezeway where you can buzz. Would he have been able to walk into this sort of breezeway before buzzing in, or?
I think everybody's that has been familiar with Troop A is you walk into the breezeway, and he could have went in there. Like I said, if our troopers weren't here, it could have been really bad. You know, it suffice it to say that you know, this job's dangerous enough, and so, you know, when you're talking about civilians and people that are unarmed in our buildings, you know, they're not putting themselves. They didn't sign up for that. They didn't sign up to put themselves in harm's way like that. But we did, and we know that these types of things can happen. That's why we're responsive the way we are. We're professional the way we are, and we handle business like we should, ladies and gentlemen of the Highway Patrol.
One question I have that I'm assuming if you haven't addressed it, you probably don't know yet, but just to do my due diligence.
Yeah.
Did this person say anything to the trooper prior to that might have suggested what
Right.
his mindset was, why he was there?
That I do not know. I haven't heard any of that yet. I believe that our investigators are just now speaking with the troopers, so, you know, it's again pretty early on, and we'll figure that out, and we'll determine why he was here and what issue he had with the patrol or in law enforcement in general.
And you'll ultimately handle the investigation.
Correct. Our Division of Drug and Crime Control is going to handle the investigation. Our investigators are already here and processing some of the scene, and, you know, we have plenty of help with Lee Summit Police Department. Like I said, they've done a great job in helping us and allowing the bomb squad to come and check the vehicle and make sure the vehicle doesn't have any incendiary device or anything.
And that's still ongoing. They have not been able to check the vehicle yet and assure that it is safe.
They're I believe they're checking it now.
And how would you describe the vehicle? You know, we recently had the incident in Nashville. Is it an RV? Is it
I believe it's a
SUV?
pickup. I believe it's a pickup, but I'm not 100% sure. But it's not an RV like in Nashville.
Well, the man didn't make it inside and didn't directly put the people who were working there in harm's way. It can still be traumatic for them who were working inside and the troopers themselves. Is there going to be a counseling or mental health approach after this?
Yeah, we have personnel that when we have a critical incident, they have to go to a debriefing. They'll be able to speak with anybody that you know, if they feel like they need to speak with somebody, they absolutely can. And you know, the troopers that were involved are going to be in the same position, that they're going to, you know, this is something that you live with for the rest of your life. This becomes a memory, and this becomes something that you're gonna look back on and realize that you were involved in this. So, you know, there's going to be issues that they're going to have to work out for sure.
Have
Trooper,
you-
did you indicate whether the suspect was able to discharge his weapon at all?
We aren't sure yet. We're like I said earlier, we're very early on in the investigation. We're going to talk to our troopers and look at his weapon and all of that to make sure that you know, we're getting all the facts and all the circumstances and the circumstance that surrounded it.
This trooper, how long has he been with you guys?
I would be remiss to say. I think we're talking a trooper that's been here 5 years, as well as a seasoned veteran who's been here about 15.
So the two of them came out, or one of them was out, and then the other one just happened to be coming out at the same time?
There were two inside the building. One was already outside the building. That trooper's probably been on 7-8 years. Then the other two came outside the building. They're the ones that engaged the suspect.
Okay,
Thanks
so
so much.
3 total. So one that was outside, noticed something suspicious. 2 that were inside,
Correct.
that you gave us their tenure, came
Correct.
out and fired.
Correct.
Okay.
Anything else? That's about all I got.
Thanks so much.
All right, you bet.
Appreciate it.
You bet. Have a good night.
Yeah.
And if you I'll keep Twitter updated as best I can with any information I get. So if you want to follow that.